Edinburgh is a beautiful city.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It's full of students.
Friendly people.
Open-minded.
Quirky.
Cozy.
Crowded.
Layered. Literally, it's in layers.
Full of contrasts.
Rich and deep culture.
Exciting.
Ancient.
Something that was resonating with me on the historical level.
Really lovely. Because I like old places that have like a deep history behind them.
It's like a welcoming place, so I can feel here like at home.
I would describe it as mysterious and really welcoming.
The year when I was born was -30 on my mom's side. It was very cold, so I get used to. And snow always reminds me of my childhood. Freedom, freedom. It's better than sex.
Kind of sexy you've been having.
Good one, but this is better. For the first moment, it's like a little bit shock, like your organs don't know what is going on, and you feel like you want to escape from the water, but then you try to, like breathing very slowly. It's very itchy, and all your body like starting to feeling like a little bit pain, and you need to feel this moment and just let this moment pass, and then you start feeling when you get out a very big adrenaline. My name is Kasia. I come from Poland. I lived in Gdynia, so it's like close to the Sea Baltic. It's a very beautiful side of Poland on the north. I arrived here in 2010, and sitting here today on this bench with you, I'm telling you that was the best decision ever, because I feel so happy here. Places like here are very much open and are normal for LGBT community. Like here, everybody can be themselves, and in my country wasn't possible. So I was lying to my family, what is very sad, because I felt half of my life like they never really met me, like an honest person. So they saw the part of me like they want to see. The one times when I go just from the pub with my girlfriend in Poland, and we was just keeping our hands together, and someone on the street get a stone and throw in my face. And that was the point when I say it's too much in my life and I don't deserve something like this. I don't want all my life, you know, like going on the dark streets and being afraid of being beaten. Yeah. So I met people like me online who told me like here it's a different life, and I saw first time in my life hope for me. So yes, I think so the first year I get a little bit crazy and use the freedom and discover myself in many ways here. And now I feel finally like the person who I am is something normal, like should to be. What annoys me, so when I say I'm from Poland, people very often don't know where is the Poland. They ask me if I speak Russian. So still a lot of people don't have idea where is that and what kind of language I'm speaking. Another very big things like makes me angry, like a lot of people think like we are a hard drinker and like we're drinking vodka and like we are stealing something.
This has been a place that I've come to just be and think and just wander around and not really worry about other things. It feels so not in the middle of a city sometimes when I sit here. I like walking in Edinburgh because it is a beautiful place that is this blend of old and new that creates something that desperately feels like it's out of a fantasy or a fairy tale, and because my mind and my thoughts are perpetually in the Shire, it really feels great to walk around, like a really special, magical place. So, my name is Dan Buchanan. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and I am a writer of a variety of things. I can't remember a time when I didn't want to be a writer. From some of my earliest memories, I've been writing stories since I learned to write. So I came to Edinburgh at the beginning of May 2017. We arrived here with 2 bags, a pan, and a bunch of books, and that's all we had when we arrived here to try and start a new life 4 years ago. It's not even that I don't feel like an immigrant, because I know I'm not from here. This is a place that I've decided to come to, and it's not where any of my roots are or anything, right? Like, I understand that, but it's more that I never refer to myself as an immigrant. And it's a complicated thing because I was wondering, you know, why? Why don't I say, oh, I'm an immigrant 100%? And I realized it's because the way we use the language, when we talk about immigrants, we're often talking about people fleeing terrible situations, whether that's war or economic hardship or famine or 5,000 of the other reasons that you need to leave your homeland sometimes. I meet people who have no concept whatsoever of South Africa beyond the 5 things that everybody says about the place. Like, people still ask me if there's giraffes running around in the streets, and I'm like, definitely. 100%. Lions, everything you can think of in the streets. But, you know, it comes from a good place. And I can usually tell when someone is just curiously asking a question and going, this is what I've heard, what is it like actually? There's a difference between that and people coming to me and going, you left because it was crappy, didn't you? And coming with a bunch of assumptions as to why I am here, and then putting those on me. And then I find myself having to explain. I just get tired. I don't even get angry or disappointed or sad. I don't expect people to know the ins and outs of my country, right? And how it works. I certainly don't know the ins and outs of everyone else's country. But I just feel tired because it means that I have to explain if I want to engage. Because I am fair, there is an assumption there that I left because of the government, or because of the crime, or because of the lack of jobs, which was not the case at all. I voted for the government and I know how to take care of myself and I had a really good job. It's not why I left, but I don't like that assumption. Physically, I feel much safer in a lot of these, in most of Edinburgh, to be honest, physically. But as a queer woman and as a biracial woman who is the recipient of various intersecting forces that help shape my experience when I'm outside, Edinburgh is lacking in that sense. So as a woman of colour, I find that South Africa has much more room to understand and discuss my experience and to give it the nuance and the layers that it deserves. There's just more. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist in Edinburgh, but because there's less women of colour in Edinburgh, that experience is just less. However, as a queer woman, I find that the queer spaces here are quite cool and very welcoming, and I love the fostering of community and the outright support from a lot of other communities that the queer community gets here, because in South Africa it's not necessarily the same. South Africa is a very conservative country. Spaces are not safe in South Africa for women. It's very, very difficult to feel completely at your ease. The reason I never sat in graveyards before was because it was never safe to do that. And that doing that was actually an open invitation for a quick mugging, or as a woman there's assault and a whole bunch of things that you have to consider that happen on a daily basis there. You know, I don't get, I've been here for 4 years and I've been harassed on the streets one time, whereas back in South Africa it would happen to me multiple times every single day. You imagine that actually it's a case of first versus third world, you know, South Africa's struggling, it's a developing nation, it doesn't have all the same things and whatever, but the truth is, not really, because I've been to London, and when I was in Brussels and I got harassed there, no problem. There is something really, really special about Edinburgh, and for me, feeling safe here. Can't say, that's my personal experience. I can't say as a, for example, I'm mixed race, but I'm very much white passing in a predominantly white environment. So as a black woman, I don't know if the experience is different, if your skin is darker, as a woman feeling safe on the streets. But I do. I feel a bit safer and a bit more comfortable. I have an opportunity to actually participate in my environment. In South Africa, it was such a case of just I need to get from here to there with my skin intact, basically. And that's when I'm navigating people saying things to me on the street that you really shouldn't say to someone you don't know, and just being made to feel completely objectified and harassed until I reach my destination is something that I don't experience here, so I get to enjoy the journey more. I just walk around more and just exist in the space more. So that is a big difference.
I come from a city in south of Iran that is the province is the Khuzestan. I put the egg on the pan on the roof. Then we went, it was almost fried because it was 50 degrees and so hot. You can wear bikini and you wear hijab. So they're making something some part of the beach divided for women that feel more comfort, and the other side is for men. But then we came to Edinburgh. It's really cold. So that's why it's so cold for bikini. It's really cold. No. My name is Hajar, but family and friends call me Freshte or Free. I moved to UK around 5 years ago, and at the moment I'm living in Edinburgh. Portobello is the place that I really love because of it's close to sea, and it's calm, quiet, and clean. Here in Edinburgh, besides it's safe and it's beautiful, it's also affordable for living and much more smarter, so it's better for living and safer, really safer than comparing to London. At work or some places, where are you from? Then I said, I'm from Iran. Then they said, what? Iraq? Iran? Now I said, no, Iran. Then they was thinking, I speak Arabic. Then I said, no. To be honest, I'm not getting angry. I'm just saying short and brief. You must read about it, then judge. When you see Iran in media, it's completely different. Oh, Iran, wow, danger country, wow, the people are like this. But it's not like this. When you travel inside Iran, then you will see the people are really open-minded. I will tell everyone, you must travel to Iran and you will see how is, situation completely different with something that you see on media. I'm not saying that it's heaven, because no, any part of the world is not heaven, but you must see Iran and you see, the good and bad with your eyes. And if you have chance to travel, and if you like traveling, you must go there, then you will see. Because, to be honest, I'm not get offended, because I know the Arab people are different. Iran is the safest country in Middle East for any foreign to go there, or even for traveling. In Iran, yes, you have to wear a hijab, but as a person, I believe if you have pure heart, if you are like, you're doing good deeds, like your behavior, so it's kind of religion. If you are good with people, you treat with people as you like treat with you, and respect to others, different culture, different religion, anything, any belief, just respect them and don't disturb them. So I call it this kind of religion. Now we are in the lead, and this building is called Banana Flat. Name is funny, but when you look at it and look deeper, it's not too funny. In general, I don't like too much the area of Leeds because of it's not like a tidy place or like a clean place or peaceful. In the Leeds, if someone asks me where are you from, and if it was in evening or get late, I don't think so. I feel safe because it's late and it's getting dark and it's quiet street. I'm talking about Leeds. So yeah, I feel like a little unsafe in this situation if it's happened.
My name is Sylwia Kolasińska. It's my favorite place in Edinburgh because I feel that this is really my place. It's my business, my baby, sort of. We are at Mud Station. It's a pottery studio. It's a small independent pottery studio founded by me. I moved to Edinburgh in 2011. I'd never lived anywhere else. I moved directly from Poland. I am, as much as I can, I'm politically active. I'm participating in every elections that I have a right to vote in. I'm trying to be engaged as much as I have time to be engaged in organizations that are helping minorities, for example. I'm minority myself, so this is pretty important for me from the few different angles. I feel discrimination when I cannot vote in general election in UK, especially that I can vote in elections that are local, that are Scottish elections, I could vote in independence referendum, which was a huge honor for me. So this is the moment when I feel discriminated, because I live here, I'm paying my taxes here, and I cannot vote. It wasn't very late. It was evening, but it was after dark. I was at my studio. I was sitting and working at my studio. The guy came in, and I noticed straight away that he was absolutely wasted. He was drunk. At that time, I was still smoking cigarettes, so I just thought that it would be safer for me to pretend that I had just a cigarette break and leave the studio as a premises to go outside. So I did it, and in the front door of my studio, I was verbally assaulted here, this place when we are right now. It was one of the most unpleasant days of my life. I didn't feel physically threatened. I knew that in any case I can always use the cigarette as a weapon, but the amount of nasty things that I had to listen, that I had to hear about what he would do with me, was, I've never heard anything like this before and after. But the situation when he was making me disgusting offers, I won't quote him because it would be probably full of swear words, but the amount of things that I had to hear from him, like I said, I never heard something like this before and after. I don't know if it came with age or with consciousness of how many women are just exposed to verbal abuse, physical abuse, or just simply potential abuse. But I'm not risking walking on my own on a psychopath's. I'm not risking jogging on a psychopath's. I'm not risking having walks on my own after dark. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be that when I'm finding myself on my own after dark, I'm grabbing my keys and speeding up the pace of my walk just to get home as soon as possible.
I usually shout. Shouting always helps. For some reason, when you're getting harassed and you start shouting, it's like, why are you making a noise about this? Why are you being so loud? Like, that's my technique. I just start getting really, really loud, because a lot of those situations rely on women just going, oh, just leave me alone, and like scurrying away. And like, I will scurry away, but I'm screaming as I do it. Rest assured.
Edinburgh is my freedom. Edinburgh is my home and a safety place to live.
It's almost 1 year that we moved to Edinburgh from London, and we are happy with that.
I feel here more at home than I ever felt in Poland. It's a weird thing, but I feel like this.
Edinburgh is a city in which you can get lost and find yourself again, and you will always have learned something. In this city, you will move between worlds that are both modern and old with such ease that it will take your breath away. And here you will feel safe and allowed to just take a moment to appreciate the world.